Greetings and welcome to Live with Chatufa. I hope you are doing well, my champions, all over the world, as we continue to pray for the peace, the freedom of Zimbabwe. And I hope that the Lord is keeping you safe. Emerson Mnangagwa's 2030 make noises following suggestions for Trump's third term. What are the differences? We have seen an outburst of Varakashi making noises on social media after the suggestions from America within their inner house, the upper house, of the suggestions that they wanted Donald Trump to run for a third term. So the noises that we are seeing from Varakashi is something that we have looked at and just said to ourselves, what is this? How can they want to be comparing these two situations? We have seen Nick Mangwana being one of the most Varakashis making noises about this and says, today I'm in the mood to share some international news. Constitutional amendment to allow Trump third term introduced in the House, right? This is Nick Mangwana. Look at Varakash, Harrison Krishnamons, another Mrakash. The Americans and Zimbabweans both want their constitutions amended to allow their sitting presidents a third term. Can you see this? Gachanj, another Mrakash. If they can dream of third term in USA, why not in Zimbabwe? Just imagine. So I looked at this and I said to myself, you see, ZANU-PF people are just living in their own bubble. These people are quite crazy because there's quite a lot of differences. If we look at America and Zimbabwe, when we look at Donald Trump and we look at Emerson Mnangagwa. Right, to begin with, Americans, this is a thing that has been suggested by one individual. This is the man who is suggesting that this Dan Mangan, this guy, is the one who has suggested that. Just one individual, right, in the upper house. And this is just a suggestion. It's not something that has been rubber stamped. It's not something that everyone else is being coerced and forced. It's not a threat, a matter of threatening people to do it. It's a suggestion, which can be turned down by even their own Republicans within the House. It's very possible, right? But already with ZANU-PF, they want to quickly lay these issues side by side as if their merits and demerits are the same. It's very different. Donald Trump did not come to power through a coup like what Mnangagwa did in 2017. Donald Trump did not rig elections to come into power. Donald Trump ran for the first term. He was very successful in his first term. American life improved. American economy improved. Things were flowing nicely until Joe Biden came and he messed up the economy of America. Otherwise, everything was moving on well in the first term of Donald Trump. And Americans were happy with him. We know what happened with the first term, at the end of the first term of Donald Trump. The elections in America were rigged, and we know that they rigged the elections in America for the first time in history. And I'm not going to go deeper into why the election was rigged, but I once explained it in one of the shows that I spoke about why the president of Donald Trump is important. You can go and look at that video, watch that video on this platform, on Chatufa TV production, on the main channel. I spoke about it. He was rigged, this guy. Then come the second term. This is why he has won this term, because this time around it was difficult for them to do what they did in the first. They also used the COVID to also rig elections and quite a lot of stuff. Right now, he has won this. This happens to be his second term. And Americans are feeling like what he did in the first term was so good. They wished that he could have a consecutive 2 terms. That's why some are beginning to suggest that. As for Mnangagwa, number one, Zimbabweans don't want that. People in ZANU-PF don't want that. It's only him and a few people who want to force this thing down the throats of the Zimbabwean people. And as for him, America, even if that suggestion can be given, we still know that the processes will go through transparently. If they have to consult Americans, if they have to do a referendum, I don't know, according to their constitution, we know that it's going to be done properly, and the American people can get to a point of agreeing if they want. But ZANU-PF does not want the input of the Zimbabwean people. They even want to rig that, referendum. They are trying to even dodge the referendum. They are now putting words in our mouths to say that Zimbabwean people are the ones that say Mnangagwa must go on, and yet it's not correct. In America, it's not the American people who have said it. It's being suggested by a few members that are in the upper house, but they will still have to go and consult the American people. Jennifer Muswere is coming out and say, as long as the MPs vote for it, it means the people that voted for them have agreed, which is wrong. Because we know that the MPs that are in that parliament are Shabangu's MPs. They went through a bogus process. They are not the people that are really representing the Zimbabwean people. So it's quite different. There's a big difference between these two. So I don't know why ZANU-PF want to be making noises over this. But of course, we know that they are very, very dishonest people. They are just trying to, find a scapegoat to their issues and want to blow things off out of proportion. But anyway, we still know that this is going to be a non-starter. They can make as much noise as they want, but Zimbabwean people, we are not gullible. We know the correct thing that is supposed to happen in Zimbabwe. We know that Mnangagwa did not win even the previous election. For him to talk about any extension of term, because he does not even have a term to extend. Mnangagwa did not win 23rd August elections. Every organization that came to observe the elections have mentioned it, including SADC, that it was nonsense of an election. So there is no term to extend for Mnangagwa. For Trump, he has a term to extend because he won clearly. So if American people agree and they say, okay, he must go on, it's much different from what we are seeing with Emerson Mnangagwa. So ZANU-PF people, sit down. Karai pass. You can't even equate these two issues. They are totally different. Don't just make castles in the air. The truth is, Zimbabwean people don't want this. Majority of the people in ZANU-PF, they don't want this again. But you are forcing people, you are threatening people, you are coercing people into agreeing into something that Zimbabwean people definitely don't want. So this is what it is, family. Just to clarify this situation, because we have seen the noises within the social media streets. But otherwise, I think I've tried to justify why these two issues can never be put into one basket. Thank you so much, family, for joining me on the show. Let's meet in the upcoming show. Remain blessed.